Hello guys, Liza Hudson from ConversionWise here, and welcome to another free audit session. So as always, before I jump into the action of today, just a couple of announcements. If you're currently watching us in YouTube and you're new here, welcome to our channel. And if you are not a member of our Facebook group, then you can click the link underneath this video and you can ask to join. It is completely free. In here, you're going to find all kinds of useful tips and tricks. It's just a really great community to be a member of. And of course, currently, if you are watching us from the group and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please make sure you click subscribe, and that way you'll know every time we drop some new content. So before I jump into it, for those of you that haven't seen one of these sessions before, what's about to happen is I have chosen 4 pages at random from our community. Guys, I've been dropping the links in there all week. If you don't see your page in here today, don't worry. There are more of these videos dropping in the coming days. What I'm going to do is open them up properly for the first time today. I'm going to run through and give some real good pointers, feedback, changes that can be made in order to skyrocket your conversion rates. And of course, guys, sometimes it can seem a bit brutal, but honestly, we get amazing results from these sessions. So I can't wait to dive into the pages. Now with me, as always, I have my 2 trusty tools. The first one being tools.pingdom.com. This is just going to show me how quick your pages are loading. And I also have with me Built With, and this is just going to show me what you guys are actually using to create your pages. So again, for those of you that haven't been here before, sorry for those that have, but essentially what we do is here at ConversionWise, we work to conversion principles. Now, one of the main ones, which I'm going to apply to everyone's page today, is the AIDA principle. Now, what that means for those of you that don't know is that above the fold, so before we have to scroll, if we're looking at this page, you are going to capture your consumer's attention. As we scroll through, you'll start to pique their interest. You'll then create desire, and of course end on an action. And that's a really key principle, which we know absolutely works. So it looks like this is on GoDaddy. And what's the web speed? Oh, okay, so 4.65. This is not a great speed. Let's look at the page and see why that might be. Okay, so we are loaded up with video content. You need to make sure that if you are using video content, you are compressing it to within an inch of your life. Same goes for any images, because a 4.65 load speed is going to be harming your conversion rate. Now guys, for every 1 second you can decrease your speed, you are going to end up with anywhere from like a 3 to 10% increase in your conversion rate. So it's the most obvious and quickest place to make wins when it comes to your conversion rate. So let's go into the pages now. Let me just have a quick peek. Okay, so looks like there's a couple of tweaks to be made here, which is fantastic. Firstly, I like the name Bossar. That's a really cool name that you've got going on. And obviously you are an email marketing agency. Now, guys, whether you are lead generation, whether you are looking at an e-commerce page, the principles absolutely remain the same. So above the fold here, capturing my attention, I'm looking for 5 key things. That is your value proposition, your imagery. In this case, we have a video, call to action, trust, and social proof. Now, I know, because I just scrolled through, I can see that this is a what you call more of a social proof landing page. You are utilizing social proof all the way through your page. However, you haven't got it on one of the most important sections, which is your hero section. So at the very least, what you need to do up here is add in your star rating at the very least. Now, another thing is with the value proposition, obviously we've got done for you, commission-based email marketing agency, but you have a really interesting little piece up here. So you're saying that you're going to get an extra up to 45% of revenue with 0 additional ad spend. This to me would be like more of a hook than, you know, done for you commission based. So I would consider making this stand out that little bit more, because ultimately, you know, getting more revenue with almost no input is what people are after, right? So this should be more of the kind of leading. I'm not sure you even need this second bit, but I guess it's worth testing. But it just feels like there's a little bit too much going on here. Great that you've got a video, explains your service, really cool. Your call to action. Now, I know there's a lot of white space, and to everyone's minds, they're probably thinking it stands out really well. But I would actually recommend you change the color of this call to action. You've got so much blue going on. This is clearly your branding. Nice color. We used to be blue as well. But what I think you should do is change this to a contrasting color. Pick something that really pops, really stands out against your branding guidelines, because what you want to do is just make it super evident for everyone that this is where you want me to press this button. Think about getting an emoji on here as well. That can increase your click-through rate by up to 40%. Now, it doesn't have to be the pointing finger. You can get quite imaginative, book my call. You can even use the little phone. There's all kinds of things you can use, but you can make it more engaging. And the other thing is maybe you could, add the imperative, book my call now, just to make them take that action a little bit quicker. The other thing you haven't got here is any trust proof. Now, you're asking someone to book a call, which means ultimately they're going to have to give you their email address. So this is essentially still a data transaction that you are looking for. Therefore, what you want to do is make sure that people know that it's trustworthy. So that could be something as simple as like an SSL secure encryption seal. It could be, like a little privacy guaranteed underneath your call to action. I would consider absolutely getting some trust up here above the fold. Now, what you do then is you go straight into your video reviews and reviews section. And then you go down into your content. Now, if you think about the AIDA principle, ideally what you would do is, first of all, grab my attention here, then pique my interest. Now, absolutely, results, case studies, testimonials, they're going to be piquing my interest. And I'm not suggesting that you literally necessarily have to have it out in that full flow. But I think in this case, I would recommend you give me some content, because some people might not want to watch the video. It is a thing. So what I would recommend is that you give me a little bit of content first, and then go into your social proof and case studies. Now, the other thing that might be quite good here, as is across all pages, is going to be a process step. Now, for this, it would be something super simple. So it's going to be, 1, book your call, 2, have your 30-minute call, whatever your process looks like. And then 3, you're going to benefit from making more revenue, right? So break the process down for the consumer, let them know what it is about to happen and how easy it is going to be for them. With your calls to action, back them up. Again, you need to put some trust icons to back these up. You could have star rating, but obviously you're surrounded by social proof here. So I would recommend you get some trust icons to back up these calls to action. Why your store needs email marketing. Something else that might be cool is to potentially talk about the consumer's pain points. You could address their pain points first, then establish your authority, then tell us, give us the sell and what's in it for us. So that's something else you could potentially do. Like the little section of your work. Here, more content, and then we go down into a final kind of review section. So what you're missing from this page is 2 things, completely missing. So firstly, what we want is an FAQ out on this page, so somewhere around here. And just consider your top 5 questions that you get asked. Because if somebody does get to the bottom of this page, and that is rare, let's be honest, then it means they're looking for something. So what you want to do is just address those top 5 barriers to entry here, and then give another headline and give us that final call to action. Because what we don't want to do is have to scroll back up. I know that sounds really silly and lazy, but trust me, it makes a difference. So what you want to do is make sure you end on a call to action. First and foremost, with this page, I'd recommend you look at the speed, look at those videos, and get some trust icons going. So let's move into the second one. This is a pregnancy clothing range. It looks really sweet. Excuse the slow way I'm doing this. Okay, so what have we got here? Built with is great because if you see, so this is Shopify. If you see somebody's site and you think, oh my God, I love what they've done. I wonder how they're doing it. You can kind of look in here and see what widgets, some kind of what apps, you know. So it's very good if you want to emulate someone else's store. So this is, as I said, this is a Shopify, and we've got a very quick load speed. So that's a really good load speed for a store, for a Shopify store. Really good. So homepages and fashion indeed are slightly different. The purpose of a homepage is, typically speaking, to funnel us into the store to take an action. So a homepage still follows the AIDA principle. It's not going to be as hard a sell on the page. It's going to be slightly softer, but the actual flow should remain the same. So really pretty branding you've got here, guys. It looks really, really sweet. I'd probably left align the logo, decrease the size of this banner. Don't think it needs to be that large. This toolbar, fantastic. This kind of little toolbar at the top. I know you're saying free UK delivery. But what you could do here is pull out on any seasonal promotions, utilize this to grab people's attention as soon as you land, rather than just have a little kind of statement there. So think about utilizing that as for any seasonal promotions. On your hero section, again, we're still looking for those key things. You've gone straight into 2 categories. Consider a slightly different format. It's fine going into 2 categories, but consider still giving us a value proposition, some sort of little headline. We still need to see social proof on a homepage hero section. You need to get that star rating in there, and trust icons. You can have sort of like almost like a faux banner up here that gives you that, money back sort of money back guarantee or 24-hour support. There's a little icons you can utilize very discreetly to still give trust off the get-go on a hero section. Then we go into, I'm assuming we're going to go into collections. Yep. Let me just have a read at Kari. We designed for a new chapter, modern motherhood, contemporary, effortless. Baby bump. Welcome. That's a sweet little intro statement. And then, like I said, we go into collections. The calls to action do stand out. The only problem is when you hover over them, they disappear. So I would not do that. And I get it. People are looking for this very branded look. But sometimes it really, in fact, all the time, it really helps to push slightly outside the boundaries of your branding guidelines and make things stand out super, super clear. You go into best-selling products, which is, absolutely typically normal on a fashion site, is what we'd kind of expect to see. What you do want to do is make sure that you get the star rating to go along with each and every one of these products here. If you have any savings, make the savings super clear. If you don't, fine, you don't. But everybody likes to see a saving of some description. You then go in to give us a little bit about you guys, and then we hit the bottom. Okay, so a similar thing, but one of the big things that's missing here, and this is a huge thing, yes, you have follow us on Instagram, but what you don't have here is a social proof section. Now, it's super important that you have this on the page itself. So yes, you've got collections, then you go into products, bestsellers, a bit about you guys. Again, this doesn't even look like a call to action, so if you want people to go there, make sure it does. But you need to get a social proof section. So what we need is a minimum of 3 reviews on the page itself. You want to get a nice authentic image to go with it, the star rating, and of course the person's name. Don't use models, don't use stock, make sure that they are authentic images, because they convert way, way, way better. And again, same thing, I'm going to say, it always helps to have a couple of FAQs out on here, and you want to end on an action that's going to funnel me into the store, not away from the store. This 25% off Jubilee weekend sale, I'm assuming that's gone now, obviously, but that doesn't stand out nearly enough. So you'd want to make more of a feature of something like that. So a couple of tweaks, the main thing being the hero section, the social proof section, and getting social proof on here full stop. Also some kind of trust elements as well would be super cool. I wonder if you guys have been featured anywhere. If you have, get that up here, because that's another great thing to help instill trust. Okay, so we are already halfway through. So guys, a quick reminder, if you are not a member of our Facebook group, make sure you ask to join. And if you haven't actually subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. We're always dropping fresh content in there, everything we can kind of share. It's very much our mission to make high conversion rates achievable to all. And on that note, in case you haven't seen, if you don't know, we actually have our own course, which teaches you guys everything we know and more. So feel free to check that out under this video as well. So this is a WordPress page. I didn't even look at the page, something kitchens and bathrooms. And just another super quick page speed. You guys are absolutely crushing it today. This is really good to see. Now here, look, you've got WordPress in here. Make sure you get rid of that. You know, you don't want to be seeing that here. So what have we got? Hassle-free kitchen and bathroom remodeling. Check out our work. Okay, cool. So again, another homepage, but also a lead generation page. So it's kind of a sort of cross between the two. What I would say is that this looks awfully messy. You know, the blue number here, it just looks like a bit of an afterthought. You know, get the number nice and super crystal clear up here. If that's the goal, you know, make sure it's nice and clear. Don't squish things in because there's no padding here, nothing. So I would right align that, make more of a feature out of something else that you have going on here. Nice branding, hassle-free kitchen and bathroom remodeling. I like the fact that you're telling me it's hassle-free. I think that's quite cool. And obviously you're pulling out on lots of trust icons here, which is great. Your calls to action, again, they don't stand out enough at all. You know, the opacity is very dark on this one. And whilst that's typically a good thing because it would stand out, it just all looks a little bit muted. And this looks a little bit busy. I'd almost pull this up slightly because these are so large. Maybe consider slightly decreasing the size on these. These here, you know, these again are calls to action. They're just links. It just looks slightly messy. So again, you know, when you're going to have a call to action, if your goal is to get a phone call, then make that phone number, that phone call, that button, the most obvious thing you can. Don't make it look scammy. But what I'm saying is that make it clear and make it consistent that that is what you are actually trying to get people to do. Love the fact that you've got social proof. Absolutely fantastic. Again, just needs to be relocated. Ideally, what we need is some of this content first. So obviously you've got some of your work, which is really nice to see. What I would say is that this doesn't read very easily to the eye. It looks like we've got lots of different fonts. So like, it's so nice to see that you've got all of these trust icons. Normally I'm sitting here saying, where's your trust icons? You've got the complete reverse. You've got them, you've got lots of them, but they're just making it look a little bit kind of scruffy. It looks like we've got different size fonts. I understand this is a headline. I understand this is your text, but look at the padding between here and here. Then this is almost invisible. You want me to actually book this call. So this should be the thing that stands out the most. You know, you can have these as this big if you want, but decrease them slightly. I would say make sure that this absolutely stands out from the crowd, and just reconsider the way that this content is actually presented to the consumer. Maybe use some little bullet points, you know, just tidy it slightly to make it more digestible in terms of reading. These are great. These are cute little trust icons, really nice little icons. It's a sweet little section. Again, same thing I'm going to say. You've got to use this as an actual call to action. Lovely to see that you guys are licensed. Work for clients. So very responsive, very, very responsive. Just a little bit too busy. It just needs cleaning. Like, I know that this is meant to look like this, or I assume that this is meant to look like this, but for want of better words, in actual fact, it makes it look scruffy. It just makes it look a little bit scruffy, a little bit overwhelming. There's just too much going on within each section. So, and especially this is just the way these sections are lined out aren't quite right. I think you just need to simplify. I don't think you need to have all of this every time you have a CTA. Like, you've got a CTA, so give us just the button, give us one or the other. Don't keep leading in with both, because all of this looks too busy every single time. Then we go down into your map, which is fine. And again, great trust thing at icons at the end. So I think for this one, it's more about streamlining this page, pulling back and being a little bit more subtle in the way that some of it is presented. Relocate your social proof. So get social proof above the fold, absolutely, but bring it slightly further down so you give us some content, then go into desire. I love the fact that you are technically almost ending on an action, but again, I think this leans very well into a slight FAQ section, and then end us on another repeat CTA. So super happy to see the trust icons, but in this case, they're just a little bit too large. So yeah, really good job, guys, but there's definitely some tweaks that could be done there. But serious kudos on the speed of that one, because that's really good. So what have we got? Garden Tech. .co.uk. So guys, if you wanted to get your page audited, then what you will need to do is to become a member of our community. And in that community, what happens is every couple of weeks, we will drop a link in there asking you guys to drop your links. And then it could be your video that you're seeing on here. Now, also, if this isn't your page, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can still pick up points as we go through, because you'll see that the principles are pretty locked in, and they make such a big difference that you should be able to take something away from here and implement it to your site today. So it looks like we have a WordPress. Yep, WordPress WooCom. And what speed have we got? Killing it. Okay, 1.17. That's really good for a store. That's really quite good. So well done on that. And it looks like quite a busy store. What have we got going on? Okay, cool. So again, this is a homepage. You guys have chosen to go straight in with collections. There's an argument for it. There's an argument against it. It's worth testing not doing that and having a more kind of traditional hero and then down into your collections, because regardless of whether you go straight into something or not, you need those key things. You still need social proof up here. You need a clear call to action. The text is a little bit difficult to read in terms of the pricing on these images, like on that one on garden products before I actually went over it, almost impossible to read the $19.99. So, get the little kind of buttons and get some social proof up here. Love the fact that you've got a little bit of trust icons going on up here. Little bit busy, but I kind of get what you're doing here. Love the fact you've got a search function. When you've got a lot of products, it's a very good thing to have. You then go into a guide to composting. Okay, so then you go into kind of like a little bit more informational kind of section. That's like a nice thing to do. I get why you're doing that with these products. And then you go into top sellers, and then you end. So it feels like an incomplete page to me. I would expect to see more in terms of, like... the value proposition isn't really a value proposition. It's an absolute description, although it does kind of say what it is on the tin. So fair play to you for that. But we need to see some social proof. We need to see, a clear call to action. You can use supporting buffers on calls to action. So things like payment icons work really well on home pages as well. You've done this really, really nice in terms of you've got the star rating, you've got that it's in stock, selling fast. You're trying to create some scarcity, which is really nice to see. But we still need the same things as we did on the other pages. So here you give us a little bit of content, then it just kind of fizzles off. So what we're looking for here, same thing. It's going to be those 3 at a minimum reviews. Now, you don't have to use an app on the homepage, because that won't drag your speed down then. What you want to do is get them nice and hard coded so that you've got a beautiful section of desire or social proof. Now we value the opinion of others more than than anything else. It seems like, all the trust icons in the world, but it's social proof that really seems to tip things over the edge. So super key you get this onto your page, guys, and also get, FAQs. I don't know if you have a newsletter sign up, but typically you would expect to see something like that near the bottom as well. And also, of course, end on a repeat call to action. So there's lots to be taken from these pages today. I think there's some really cool optimizations to be had. I think the key thing with this one is making this clearer for people. Yes, it's absolutely evident in terms of pictures, but it's very difficult to read what's going on these. Think about actually having calls to action on them instead, if you are sticking with this kind of classical collections section, and not going with a normal kind of like dynamic hero section. Goodness me, sorry. Okay, and the other thing is get your garden organized. Order online today, Monday to Friday, 24/7, Saturday and bank holidays. Okay, that's cool. What I would say is, utilize this toolbar again, same as we said for the maternity one. Utilize this for any seasonal promotions. This is the ideal place to capture people's attention. As soon as you land, you think, oh, okay, they have this on right now. Maybe you've got a spring offer or a summer offer or a fall offer, depending where you are in the world, but well worth utilizing the seasons. It can help people to take action quicker. So hopefully, guys, you found some useful pointers. Don't forget, you can click the link below to join our group. If you would like to ask me any questions, you can hit me up on Messenger. And of course, if you'd like to have a call, we can always hop on a call. But thanks for the pages, guys, and I look forward to the next session.